Moving on to traffic, Highway 1 in the southbound direction in Santa Cruz, slow moving from Morrissey down to 41st Avenue. Most of that is under 10 miles per hour, so be ready for that. In April, any instrument, if you could master any instrument, which instrument would it be?
I would love to play the violin. I've never played that before.
Do you know anything about playing it?
Nothing.
Yeah, that would be easier to carry than a piano.
Yeah, you
right?
see, that's why you should have been Asian. See, that's the thing. Is if you're Asian, they gave you a choice. You learn violin or piano. I remember because I was talking to a friend of mine, Peter Kuo. He grew up in Taiwan, and he was presented with this choice by his parents, or actually his parents were discussing the choice with him, right? And they picked for him the violin because they were saying, well, you know what, a violin is much easier to carry around than a piano. And they were in Taiwan at the time in the late 70s or whatever, and when Taiwan was under martial law. And apparently his parents managed to piss off the government. So it's like, if we have to run, we could take your violin with us. We can't take a piano with us. So you're going to learn to play the violin. And so he ended up playing the violin because he was a good Asian son, unlike me, who was a terrible Asian son, who took piano lessons, totally sucked at it, didn't like it, just like, oh, I have no musical talent whatsoever. I have no musical talent whatsoever.
I don't know if it's talent versus desire, Jim. I mean, I could be the most talented guitarist in the world, April, and we'll never know because I'm never going to try. You see that?
The moment that your parents tell you have to do something, it is all over.
Well, is it true? Because I always think it's like it's almost like it's like baseball, right? It's like a batting average. You can, if you have a child, not that I have any, but having observed growing up and then now observing my brothers with their kids, like you can only impart certain things on your kids. You may have a list of 100 things you want to impart in your kids, but you only get a certain percentage that actually take hold. Now for my parents, they wanted me to go to med school. Well, that was a big flaming turd of failure, right? But they did impress upon me, don't smoke, don't do drugs. And so, other than the occasional hit of crack cocaine and meth, I don't smoke, unless of course it's really good weed, but you get the idea, right? I really don't smoke. I really don't do drugs. I never had the desire to. In fact, I can't even light a match. That's how inept I am. I can't even light a match with the because I've never had the practice. And so, heaven forbid they actually give me a lighter that has a little flint thing. I probably can't make that operate either. That's how pathetic I am. I have to use a
That's a
stick
good thing, Jim. That is a good thing.
Well,
I like to think that, and I raised my kids. They're not done being raised. I just want them to be good people. Get a job, be honest, and things will work out, dude. You can be whatever you want to be, but just be honest. Be a good person.
Now, I have very specific requirements for my children. I told them nothing speedy.
okay.
You can smoke a little weed, okay?
Okay.
Do not do anything, no coke, no crack, no meth.
Okay.
And do not drink and drive.
Okay.
Okay?
That makes sense.
Good people, I hope for the best, but those other things are just, non-negotiable.
Well, let's see here. Have you ever heard the Chris Rock joke about the dad's number one job with the daughter?
What is it? What is it, Jim?
According to Chris Rock, the dad's number one job is keep her daughter off the pole keep her daughter off the pole. So, right? So if your daughter's swinging from a pole, you as a father effed up.
Yeah, I didn't put that one on the list.
That kind of goes without saying, Jim.
Unfortunately, when I went to visit my children, they used to live together as roommates. They had a house and they rented. And then, so I have two daughters and they had a bunch of female roommates. So it was just a girl bachelorette pad. And they had a freaking pole in their...
Oh, man.
Yeah. Okay. So I should have had that on my list. But
Well, to be fair, I've heard that it's good exercise. And I don't doubt it.
I'm sure your thighs are in really good shape.
Well, your thighs, that's how you walk. That's how I walk, Jim. I use my thighs.
Well, no, but are your
calves
thighs
and
good
my
enough to
glutes
keep
and
you
my all
hanging
that
upside down from the pole without sliding down the pole, without using your hands?
I haven't tried it, Jim, but I suspect yes.
No, I would probably pull a groin just trying to try it out. Right?
It's the best of Flight 1080 on AM 1080.